As 2016 is coming to a close, it's time once again for me to look back on this year's reviews and decide which games were the worst. The Wii U has not had the best year when it comes to great titles, but that's not to say there isn't some good ones. But this time we're going to be focusing on the bad ones, and the eShop has been a major contributor of that. And I've reviewed quite a few of these really bad eShop games, because someone had to. I based this list on gameplay, controls, price, and even going back and reflecting on the gameplay. Just as a reminder, I only review Wii U games. That includes anything on the eShop for the Wii U. That includes virtual console games as well. Also, this is a list of bad games I reviewed this year. It may have come out on a previous year, but if I just reviewed it this year, then it counts. So with that said, number 10. The Book of Unwritten Tales 2. Some books, you know what, should never have been written. It's not to say this is a bad game, but it's more of a boring one. It takes hours and hours for this long adventure game to get going. And when it does, it's just okay. So it's the normal how do I get out of the locked room puzzle, which of course was overly complicated because of a super intelligent bird that is keeping a watchful eye over you. Don't ask. Then when you do escape, she needs to find out why as an elf she's feeling ill, since her species hardly ever gets sick. So a few ridiculously unneeded quests later, you find out, surprise, surprise to no one except the main character, that she's pregnant. It's at this point that I was fading really fast on my enjoyment of this title. The whole pregnancy thing is played for laughs, since she's never been told about the birds and the bees. And I was genuinely afraid I might actually have to go on a quest to explain it to her. Okay, lady, when a bird and a bee gets together, sometimes they have a baby. Number 9. StarFox Zero. Here's one that should have been on my best list, if not for one thing. The terrible controls. If you don't have a second player to play this game with, it's just a bear to play. It's too bad, because I could see some fun gameplay in it. Alright, first off, I gotta get this out of the way, because it drives me crazy every time I see it. Does this not look like a fox pooping?
No. It looks like a fox with wings.
The thing that makes this thing unique this time around is the controls, which I think really suck.
And I think they're usable. You just have to learn how to actually use them.
I don't like using the gamepad. I just find it a disadvantage. I like looking at my goals. I don't like looking at a cockpit. Number 8. Devil's Third. For the first hour or so, I was actually digging this game. Then the tedium started. One boring level design after another. And then they added in monsters, and it really went downhill after that. There are plenty of weapon reloads all around, not only in a huge box that you can find ammo for anything, but the enemies carried ammo as well, except when you got to the mutant sections. Then ammo becomes a rarity. Not that it matters too much, because it took way too many bullets to take down a mutant. You were better off just doing very, very repetitive melee fights against them. Number 7. Santa Factory. Alright, now we're getting to the dredges. This Christmas-themed educational game was just boring to play. It had one gimmick where you could draw lines to advance the gameplay, but it never really did anything with it over the 60 levels. It was so frustrating. The letters or presents that you collect have words or pictures in them, and at the end of the level, you have to match up the words with the pictures. You get 20 points per correct answer, and the goal is to get all 5 for 100 points. If you don't do it, nothing happens. Santa just looks upset. Kind of like, man, that kid is illiterate. But he still lets you move on to the next level. Number 6. Escape from Flare Industries. This is a very short puzzle platformer. Its gimmick is your character will die if it stays out of the light too long. Graphically, it looked very simple, and the controls were really wonky at times. The plot is that you control a reject slime who has somehow found a way to escape the factory. These slimes are supposed to be cheap disposable items for children to play with. You know, like a pet rock, only with feelings. But it's okay to chuck this one in the trash. How messed up is that? The commercial they use even says this. This slime lives off lights, so you're going to need to recharge your slime occasionally by putting it in the light. Even though there is light everywhere in this place, I guess it takes a particular kind of light. I don't even want to try and understand this whole slime biology. Number 5. Blackjack 21! It's a blackjack simulator, that's it. Don't expect anything more from it than that. I mean, this is the kind of thing you might find for free on an iPhone. And while it does have a mildly amusing dealer, the fact that it is so basic kills all the fun. However, the real hook to this title isn't the gameplay at all. It's the sarcastic dealer.
You lost, what a surprise, Nut. Blackjack in your face. bust, and not the good kind.
The dealer isn't the only jerk. The owner of this casino is too. If you run out of chips, he won't ask you if you want some more. He'll just toss you out of his casino.
You don't have enough to place that bet. Get out of here.
It's so jarring. Looking at the Skunk emblem, I guess that's why everyone stinks in this place. It's the Skunk Casino. Oh, speaking of which, what kind of casino is this? It looks like someone's mansion. I have no idea where this is. It might be some real-life casino somewhere, but it kind of looks like Scrooge McDuck's house from this angle. Number 4. The first Skunk bundle. This game actually got put into notoriety when the developer actually made this game free. But when I reviewed it, it was $24.99. If it hadn't been on sale, and if it really was $24.99, this probably would have been my number 1 on the list, for the price alone. Because none of these games are particularly fun, but they sure could get bizarre. Especially that haunted house game I spent so much time talking about. The key placement was usually easy to find, except on the ninth floor, where, no joking aside, I spent 20 minutes searching every room, inch by inch, looking for it. I was in the room for so long that one of the ghosts just slowly left. I think maybe the ghost got bored and like, oh man, is this guy ever gonna find the dang key? I finally found it blended in with this broken soda machine. Oh my goodness, I have so much in this game alone. In this part where there's a very long hallway that makes no sense for the rest of the hotel. I mean, the rest of the hotel is just like 3 doors only, but this one has like 17. What's this hotel, like a rectangle, but where one part has a really long part sticking out? Maybe it's like a T shape. Why is there a wall sticking out that only exists on one side? If you look at the other side, it's just gone. Was this the ghost of a wall that was once murdered? Some construction worker murdered it, and it came back for revenge. Why is there a key stuck in the middle of the hole of a ghost? I am not kidding on this one. That is literally where it is. This ghost has spastic diarrhea, and you have to unplug the key and just let it flow. By the way, that's not the only body fluid joke in here. I counted at least 4 of them. Why is there power to run the fans but no lights? Why is there a camera? No, I gotta stop. Seriously, there's 4 more games, but I've got pages of notes on this game alone. Number 3. Avoider. You avoid the objects, hence the name Avoider. What you see is what you get. It's another one of these quick games that they just churn out for a couple dollars. It's just a bullet hell game with no power-ups, no extra lives, and no end. One hit, you're dead. When you die, you go to this screen. It's a very basic screen where you just have to press in a very specific place to play again. Why not just press anywhere to play again? Or how about the A or B button? Why do I need to press play again? The post of the Miiverse that you see is just a suggestion. It won't bring up the Miiverse if you press it. It's just a, hey, how about telling people you actually played this game? Which I'm sure if you actually get a response will be, wait, this game exists? Number 2. My live reviews. For the first time in almost 9 years, I'm putting myself on this list. And yes, I've been doing this for 9 years, unbelievably. I had the fun idea of doing live reviews in my live events. But the sound sucked, the video was terrible, and while I do edit them a little, the experiment was a total failure. I only did 3 live reviews. Pharaoh's Riches, 6-Hand Video Poker, and Skeezy. And all of these could be on this list proper. But I didn't want to fill 3 slots with my terrible live reviews. So I'm going to bunch them all into one. Now, this kind of looks like you're playing video poker on the side of a dirty bus. I mean, look, what else could this possibly be? It costs almost $10. $10 for this slot game with no bonuses at all. But I think, you know what? I think Skeezy skunks.
No.
Number 1. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. This game was terrible, with the one exception being the Desert Island game, which Nintendo must have realized was the only thing redeeming in this title, and ported it to their 3DS Animal Crossing game with an update. Almost all the games were tedious to play, and the title wasn't even worth it, even if you could find it for like $10. And that's why I put it up as the worst game I reviewed this year. I think the only way this game could work is if it was actually packaged with an Animal Crossing game. This should have never been its separate release. This should have been a mini game that you can play wrapped around your town in the new Animal Crossing.
But that doesn't exist.
I meant in the future, that's what this should have been.
It's not gonna happen in the future.
Then you could be playing with actual people from your town. This doesn't feel like a game that should have been separated. Well, that's my worst games that I reviewed this year. Up next to end the year will be my top 10 best games that I reviewed. That should be a little bit happier of a video. I want to thank everyone who's been watching this over the years, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.